It is Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by Mountain Dew. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. You got a day game after a night game, so you're actually home but away, huh?
Yes, I'm down in Orange County. Am I in Newport right now? I'm not sure where I'm at exactly. But yeah, we got a 1:00 game here in Anaheim, my last duties of the year. So it's
Oh,
bittersweet, and I love calling games, but I am excited for the playoffs. Maybe even I'm getting a little excited for the off season, just this much.
did you figure out what your record was as an announcer this year?
I haven't gone over it yet. I don't think it's been great, Chris. I don't know if you've seen the
Yeah.
Minnesota Twins play as of late, but I
Yeah.
don't think my record. I'm sub 5.
Yes. Oh, I would bet that you don't have a winning record here. You will
Yes.
not be making the announcer playoffs.
This road trip, I went 1-1 in Kansas City and 1-1. So I'm 2-2 on this road trip. This is the rubber match.
That'd be an interesting one, actually, if somebody out there wants to take the time to figure that one out, because a lot of teams use multiple analysts. Most play-by-play guys remain the same. There are a few, the Dodgers, obviously, with Joe Davis doing a lot of stuff. Steven Nelson fills in there. There's a few others, but for the most part, analysts do switch. I'd love to know which analysts have the best records this year, best winning percentage.
That's kind of not fair. I mean, if you're on a good team,
Well, isn't that the case if you're a good player on a lousy team?
I will say this: Corey Provis, our typical play-by-play guy, out today. He's got like
Oh,
flu symptoms, so it's
oh.
looking like, and I'm not 100% confirmed. It's looking like Chris Atterbury's coming over from radio, and we'll have two color guys, me and Paul Molitor. That could be a lot of fun.
Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Oh, man. And
go
your
Blue
former
Jays.
manager, right? You your
Former Twin, yeah,
yeah, your
I played under him, yes.
yes, you did. Okay, there we go. Let me know. I think that's kinda fun. Tip of the cap to a guy who seemingly does this about once a month.
Takes it the other way and deep. Back goes Fernando at the wall. He leaps. Fernando did it again. He did it again. Trying to turn it into two. Won't get him, but makes the catch as he robs another home run. I am Nando.
Yeah, I don't know if you are, but he is. Donna, and it feels like it's the same catch every time.
Yeah, he's like the perfect height for that wall too. That's not like a small wall out there. Like that's like a, appropriately sized outfield wall, and he's able to get up there in a hurry. I believe that's his 4th on the year, which leads all of the big leagues, which is if one home run robbery is crazy, but he's done it 4 times now. And the defense, yes, has been off the charts. 8 runs outs above average, 95th percentile, arm strength, hitting. I mean, he's electric. When he's right, I mean, he's one of the most fun players in all of baseball to watch.
There's not many outfielders that you are excited to watch them play defense. Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day for me, he was just incredible going gap to gap and backhanded catches and smashing into the wall and doing all sorts of stuff like that. Torrey Hunter was another one. But Fernando Tatis Jr., I think, might be one of the guys. Dalton Varsho, I think, is a little bit like that.
Rafaela in
Yeah, he's great
Boston
too.
is I
Fantastic.
don't know who else is challenging him for the platinum glove, but he has been
Yep, you're
unbelievable
right.
out there.
Good call on that one. He's been great. All right, reason I'm wearing the Philly fanatic on my head because the Phillies have all but wrapped up the National League East crown. They took it to the Mets yet again on Tuesday. Now, the champagne for the team celebration, that is going to wait, but they did have someone to toast.
Fly ball, center field. It's hit deep, out toward Monty's angle. It is number 50! Kyle Schwarber has just hit his 50th home run of the season. He's the second Philly to do it, and they now lead it 7-1.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Get the nice round even number. It's cool the stat of how many people have done it before in the game. So it's something that you don't take lightly.
Yeah, that number, Kyle, by the way, is just 34. You are the 34th member of the 50 home run club. Isn't it? That is the magical number that we look for as fans every year, isn't it? 50 home runs.
I guess I really haven't thought about it that way. I mean, 50 is an unbelievable number. I think 40 is kind of there as well. I mean, we just don't see 40 a ton either. Obviously, 50 more elusive, but yeah, I mean, it's one of I know I think sometimes, especially in today's world, we're just like not impressed with anything. Like we
Mm.
just see everything too much, so much information at the tip of our fingers. But 50 homers is incredible. Like
Yeah,
you should be in awe at a 50 home run season.
yeah, I remember when I was, in my formative years, there weren't that many guys that were doing it in the '80s, it felt like. I remember growing up, and George Foster was the first guy that when I started to really love baseball that I had heard had a 50 home run season. I think he hit 52 in 1977 or something like that. And George Foster was so cool. He had the lamb chop sideburns, and he was part of that big red machine. And he wasn't a big guy. He was skinny. I was like, man, 50 home runs. That sounds incredible. And then in the 90s, we went on this ridiculous tear where there were guys doing it, and it was a little bit with a hush hush wink wink. And I was in my mid-20s at that point, and you were like, okay, you're trying to figure out when a guy hit 50. Well, what was he doing off the field to help him? Now we're at 50, and we don't think about that, thank God. The only thing enlarged on Cal Raleigh's is dumper, and Kyle Schwarber is one of the great sluggers that we've had in the last 10 to 15 years of this sport. You've got Shohei's going to get there again. Eugenio Suarez has got an outside shot at it. Aaron Judge, if he gets freaking hot over the last 2.5 weeks, could end up doing it. So we could have one of those years where we get 4 or 5 guys in the 50 home run club. I think it'd be neat.
It would be. It's I can't even fathom 50 homers. I mean, really break it down. Play 6 months, you're talking about 8.5 homers a month, and that's a big month.
That is a
And
big
to
month.
do that consistently throughout the year is awesome.
9 teams have never had a 50 home run player. Should I play the game with you or just give them to you?
9 teams. Okay. Let's do it.
Okay.
Miami Marlins.
Stanton.
Oh, he was there. Dang it. Okay. 0 for 1.
Let's start with simple stuff. What game are you calling today?
Twins and Angels.
There you go.
Neither have had one.
There's 2.
Yeah, I thought Harmon got close one year, but yeah, no 50 homers there. You just give them to me.
Royals, White Sox, Twins, Nationals, Rays, Angels, Rangers, Astros, Rockies. If I
Just
did my
all
math.
the bad teams right now?
No, not all bad teams. There's a couple teams that could end up in the playoffs.
You just named like all the bad teams besides the Astros, who might be out of the playoffs.
Might be. We'll get to that in a bit. I want to ask you one other question about Schwarber. And let me know, too, people in the comments sections about, have you ever been there when somebody hit a 50th? Like, did it feel different? I've never been there when somebody hit 50.
I have not either.
I mean, I was there during the McGuire year in, 98 when he was chasing after the all-time single-season record. And I was at a game in Cleveland, and that's when the then Indians were packing the ballpark every night and selling it out, and the team was great. But everybody was there to see McGuire hit a homer. We kicked St. Louis's ass and saw a homer, and the place went nuts when he hit it. So it was, those sort of things they're magnetic. So I just want to see what you guys have felt like. Anyway, quick question about Schwarber as a free agent. Do you think that there's going to be multiple teams offering him 9-figure contracts? Because he is strictly a DH.
Yeah, I do. I ultimately I think he ends up with the Phillies though.
I do.
9 figures is where I kind of get caught up, because that would require at least 4 years, which I think he could demand at this point. I don't think there's any question about that. So now you're talking about he's making right around 20 this year, so you got to up it to 25 to get to the 9-figure range. Ultimately, yeah, I think that's what it ends up being, like a 4-year 110 from the Phillies. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't, because there's not that many full-time DHs right now. Ohtani, Marcell Ozuna, Even Yordan Alvarez plays some outfield, but he's primarily a DH. And just more and more teams are using it as to get guys off their feet, which I certainly understand. But his WAR the last 2 years, when you combine it, it's going to be right around. He's going to be an 8 WAR player, so about 4 per year, roughly. But the year before that, in 2023, he had 47 home runs. He wasn't even a 1 WAR player. And
I don't
I'm not
understand all that.
I don't either, and I'm not saying, people have said, "Oh, well, when you guys bust out WAR, that's when you lose me." I'm not telling you that's how we evaluate players, but I am telling you that's how some decision makers evaluate players. And we know that some organizations are more sticklers when it comes to certain numbers, um, in the sabermetrics world, and they will live and die by that when it comes to signings, evaluations, etc. Others tend to give themselves a little more leeway and use it as a tool, but it's not the end all be all. I can just tell you from talking with people inside the sport. I'm not so sure how I would do it when I have all the information at my disposal, but that is part of the equation. And if you don't think it is, then you just haven't been around the game, and that's okay.
Imagine how different we view the game if we do not have the WAR stat.
Oh,
The game is
massive.
completely different.
Completely different. Yep. 100%. I do think that he stays in Philly. I think it's a perfect marriage. I loved seeing the tip of the cap. You could feel it ooze through whatever screen you were watching it on. It was great stuff.
Dombrowski has said as much. Like,
Yeah.
Dombrowski, Middleton, they've both come out and said, like, we need him here.
Yes.
So,
But the only thing that could change it is if they come up short in the playoffs, and then they have to reevaluate. Do they say, okay, we have to kind of change some, because there's some players that are unmovable for them, or
yeah.
they wouldn't want to get off of, that have big contracts. And then there might be other areas where they have shortcomings that they say we have to address it, and so we have to allocate more money. It's all fine and dandy when you're kicking everybody's ass in the NL East and you're up 9 games on September 10th. It's different if on October 10th or October 17th you've been eliminated and come up short yet again.
Is Harrison Bader a must re-sign for them?
No. I think he's been great for what he is. I think he's great. I do think that he'll come
took
up big.
over center field.
I'm with you.
What have they been looking for the last 4 years?
Well, a lot of that is going to come down to an October performance. So we have to wait.
He fits that team so well.
Sure does. Sure does. I dig him. I like him. All right. Now that the Mets have been left in the divisional dust, they got to figure out a way to hang on in the National League wild card. Giants won again. Reds won. So now San Francisco's just 2 back of New York. The Reds are 3 back. Carlos Mendoza, are you worried at all about missing the playoffs?
No, we will. We're good. We got to play better. And we got to fight. We're in the middle of it. Like there's no time to feel sorry or. We got to fight. What was in the past is in the past. And we got to continue to take it one day at a time.
So he's saying we will make the playoffs. The question was, will you make essentially that's what it was. Yesterday, we asked if Mets fans were feeling a little uneasy. Now I want you to take us inside the locker room. They know what's going on here. How worried do you think the players are?
I think you heard how they feel through Carlos Mendoza. I mean, you're just going day by day. They still control their own destiny. Yes, the Giants are 2 games back, but they own the tiebreaker against them. So it's effectively a 2.5 game lead. They do lose a tiebreaker against the Reds, who are 3 games back. So there's that. But when you have a lead like this, with 17 games left to play, I think that's the number.
Mm-hmm.
That you just got to take care of business. You just can't. I'm looking for a different phrase here. The bed. You can't. That's all. You just go play decent baseball, and you're going to be in the playoffs. Like the Giants, man, they've been on a heater. The offense has come to life. The pitching has been there. Like they are playing really great like extremely great baseball right now. Does that keep up? Like if that keeps up, then we're talking about a completely different thing. If they're going to go 13-3 again, what they've just done, if they're going to continue at that pace, then shoot, yeah, you got to be worried as a Mets player. But I think you understand just kind of how the ebbs and flows go throughout a season. If you go out there and take care of your own business, you're going to be in the playoffs. That's the mentality in the clubhouse.
Since the middle of June, they have one of the 5 worst records in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, they've since we talked about how the start they got off to. I mean, they've kind of rode that to the record they're at now. Sure, but they can't play nosedive baseball.
But
That's the only thing.
But that's essentially what they've done to some degree. I mean, for a good team, you look at their players and you're like, yeah, this is a really, really good squad. It's going to be one of the all-time epic failures if in an offseason where you sign Juan Soto and he goes 30-30, which congratulations, by the way, and he's going to go 40-30, not just 30-30. You know, he's very close to hitting 40 home runs, and he will have lived up to his side of it. If they don't make it, if they end up, 3 weeks ago, we were asking the question, well, can they catch the Phillies? Well, now they're 9 games back, and they are holding on for dear life by their fingernails right now.
It is interesting because, okay, you talk about Juan Soto having a great year. You bring Pete back. He's had a great year. Francisco Lindor has had a very good year. Jeff McNeil has had a nice bounce back year. They have had these young starters come up and make an impact. Maybe that's what you could point to. Too little, too late from your starting rotation, I guess. Some of the trade deadline acquisitions, Halsey hasn't been there, but they've done all the right things this
They
year.
have.
They've made all the right moves. This is in similar vein to how I talk about the Mariners. Like, they've done all the right things this year, and they're, Mariners are holding on by a thread there in the AL wild card, and same thing with the Mets here. It's interesting how that works because you could go and talk about a lot of good things that they've done, but the record hasn't necessarily shown that.
Okay, if you're a Mets player, would you appreciate it if Carlos Mendoza started managing some of these games like they were playoff games instead of regular season games to try and up the intensity, the energy, to let people know that, hey, guys, like, I am taking this shit really seriously. Like, if a guy's having like,
talking
he could have
about
easily pulled Mania last night. He was
is
terrible
it
to
a
me.
shorter leash? Yes,
Yeah.
I would. As a position player, yes, you want that.
Yeah.
Does it tax the bullpen a little bit more? Maybe. But it is. I mean, make it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
They're
they
going
need
to be in
some
a wild card
urgency.
round, so it's. I think maybe you don't start that just yet.
I mean, when does it start?
Yeah. If not now, when? I guess.
Trevor, they
As a
go
position
against
player, yes, you like a short leash in situations like what we have now.
Christopher Sanchez tonight. They still have Texas and San Diego to play. I think is that their next 2 series? I believe that's what it is. It's oy, oy, oy. Let's see here what we got for the Mets.
They have Philly, then they go Texas, Padres, then they have the Nationals, and then they end on the road, Cubs, Miami.
Okay. I don't want to say it's all right in front of them because that's somebody else's saying in New York.
19-8 in April. That is what they've lived off of. They got fat early on, and then it was through May and June, exactly 500 ball, 27-27. July, they went 14-10. August, 11-17. Now 3-5 in September. So it's been, again, feast early and just kind of survive for the Mets, which is crazy. Maybe they have a streak coming.
Maybe. They're good enough to, but man, it gets a little alarming.
We were talking like playoff rotation for them, and we're like kind of giving these young guys such a, oh man, like McLean's look great, and Tong and Sproat, and like they could put these guys on. Shouldn't they get playoff starts? Shouldn't we be saying like, you're the New York Mets and you're going to have 3 rookies pitching for you in the playoffs? Isn't that how we should be talking about it?
Yeah.
That's how we used to talk about things.
You're right. Well, I think they're just grabbing for straws at this point. Mets fans that I've talked to are just, I think they're expecting the worst and will be pleasantly surprised if anything happens in October. We'll see. All right, it's time right now for Climbing the Mountain. It's brought to you by Mountain Dew, where we take a look at teams who are climbing up or sliding down the mountain on the trek to the playoffs. And today we're going to focus on the American League East. Jays, they walk off the Astros, weren't doing anything for like the first 6 innings, and then they ended up winning 4-3. Tigers pound the Yankees with a 9-run 7th. In the meantime, out west, Boston takes care of the A's. So Toronto has a 3-game lead over both Boston and New York. The big thing that happened last night, were you listening to the Blue Jays broadcast when Buck Martinez said this?
You know, the Yankees, they're not a good team. I don't care what their record is. They have a lot of wild pitches. They make a lot of mistakes in the field. They don't run the bases very well. If they don't hit home runs, they don't have a chance to win.
Fair or foul by the longtime Jays analyst?
I mean, I think some of that was fair. Like if they don't hit home runs, like they're probably not going to win. That's okay. I think that's actually a lot of teams around the league. I think there are times where we've seen the Yankees, have a lot of defensive lapses, but overall, Chris, like they're actually not too bad in the grand scheme of things. If you go by defensive runs saved,
Right.
they are 10th in baseball at 31. Toronto only 8 in front of them. I will say, over the course of a year, Toronto's looked like a much better defensive team than the Yankees. So I don't know. Part of it's true. I think it's maybe a little bit harsh. They are a good team. He's talking about fundamentally sound baseball, where we've seen spurts of that go away from the Yankees a little bit, but they do other things really well. I mean, you can talk about them being deficient in one area, but they're the best team in the league at getting tips on pitchers. So what does that mean? Like there's more to what makes a good team
Mhm.
than how you look on the base pass sometimes or on defensively sometimes. There's a lot of things that go into winning baseball games, and they're pretty damn good at some of them. So, shots fired. I don't mind it by Buck. Like I kind of like let's fire everybody up. That's kind of what sports is about. So I didn't have a problem with him saying it, but I don't think it's entirely true.
Well, remember, it started earlier this year when Yankees announcer Michael Kay said of the Jays, they're not a first place team
It's
when they
true.
were in first place. So this has been a little bit of back and forth. And you had the Toronto announcer who went back at Kay, and Kay went back at him in kind of a fun, playful way. So I actually think it's great for baseball. It's fun. It's entertaining. Some people will say, well, boy, Buck sure sounded mean and vindictive. Who cares?
Yeah, okay.
Fine,
Not
good.
really.
Let's fire it up. Let's say he wasn't like, "Hey, the Yankees suck. They're the worst team of all time." In his opinion, they're not a good baseball team. I think it's a little off from the standpoint of we feel like a good baseball team has to be buttoned up all over the place. And I think good baseball teams can be built in totally different ways. You can mash your way to victory and kind of win ugly-ish. I think if that's the right term. I don't even know if it is. But yeah, you would love a team that plays crisp, that runs first to third really well, that takes extra bases, that, does things perfectly defensively. I think a little bit of it is that we're still kind of living in 2024 where the Dodgers shit talked after winning the World Series about all we had to do was put the ball in play, and we knew that they were going to screw up at some point. And
Maybe. A couple things. I talked about defensive runs saved. The Yankees get a ton from their pitchers.
yes, I
18
noticed
of their
that.
31. I don't know what that means. That's Max Fried bouncing off the mound like a cat? Is that them holding runners? So that's interesting. Um, then I was going to get back to, we talked about, I said Rafaela early in the show. I said, who's going to challenge him for a platinum glove? Pete Armstrong has more outs above average than him, so he'd be the one to challenge
Don't they
Rafaela.
hold on, don't they do one in each league?
No, it's one.
It's just one
I think
period?
it's just one.
Oh, man.
Pretty sure it's just one.
Okay.
Should be just one. What else did I have to say? Oh, guess the team that leads in defensive run saved.
And some people don't like that metric. I mean, I think that there are
They do give two
20.
AL and NL. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay,
Okay.
so yes, they will win both of those
Who
games.
leads in defensive runs saved? How good is the team?
Good. They're running away with this.
What's that? They're running away with it?
Yes.
Wow. Let's see here. I am going to say the Tigers.
The Tigers right now are 10th, tied with the Yankees. It's the Texas Rangers.
Rangers, okay.
99 total defensive
Wow.
runs saved. Infield shifts have gotten them 21 extra runs saved. Outfield shifts 9, so they're doing that placement game really well.
Want to give a little bit of love to Connerly Early, called up by the Red Sox last night out in Sacramento against the Athletics. What a major league debut for him. 11 strikeouts. One of these lefties that kind of comes out. Look at him fire the ball, man.
Where are all these guys coming from? These young guys just come up and having like immediate success.
I mean, the Red Sox are loaded for the next few years, it feels like. Really does, right? Tolley just came up, made his major league debut a couple of weeks ago. Now they got another lefty. This kid was fired up, and he should be. You know, the A's are one of those hit and miss teams. Like when they're on, they are so fun to watch, but they just feels like they just disappear as well at times. And just want to give that kid a little bit of love because it
I
happened.
like that.
Yeah. I don't
My
know.
Red Sox World Series champions. That's my pick.
I know, right? For you. AL West has become super, super interesting. Told you about the Astros losing to the Jays yesterday. Meanwhile, after a bit of a swoon, Seattle is back to show that it is tough as nails.
Wax! Right field! This ball is giving the Mariners the lead! Josh Naylor!
Did you see his bat toss? It's pretty good. The low end. Yeah.
Golly.
You know you're getting close to the playoffs when Naylor's doing that sort of shit.
He's been a heck of a player this year, huh?
Yeah, he's hit.
What's he going to get?
He'll be interesting. He really is he's an boy. He's going to be fascinating to see what he ends up getting. So Houston's lead is just 1 over Seattle. It's only 2 over Texas. That's important because the Astros are now 2 games from being out of the playoff picture. Texas is the first non-wild card team that's in. They're in the on-deck circle. So how worried are you about the Astros missing the playoffs?
It's so crazy. I mean, this is the exact conversation we had about the Mariners and them, everything going right for them. It's kind of been the opposite for the Astros. Everything's kind of gone wrong for them. Were largely without Jordan this year. Now we have some more injury news with Luis Garcia. So the rotation has taken a hit. They got 3 guys they can rely on in that rotation right now. The bullpen has taken a hit. Like they're bleeding out right now, Chris.
Yeah,
That's what it seems like, right? But
Yeah,
we've seen.
How bad did you feel for Garcia last night? It was just his second start after
Terrible.
working for 28 months to get back from Tommy John surgery. He left with discomfort in his right elbow. The minute he came out, you could just feel like everybody in that Astros, they were huddled around him on the mound. They were like, "Oh my God, how devastating!"
I feel terrible for him, and yeah, the Astros, they're in it right now, so they don't have a tiebreak win against anybody yet. They lose a tiebreaker against the Red Sox and the Tigers. They still have to figure it out with the Mariners. They're 5-5. They have a 3-game set left. They're 4-6 against the Rangers. They have 3 games left with them. So like there's still a lot to be determined. But yeah, I mean, after controlling the AL West for how long? I mean, 4 months?
Yeah, it feels like.
Yeah, they could be one of those teams. I mean, that's the most fascinating race in baseball right now is AL West/AL wildcard.
Fangraphs, even though Houston leads the division, they have Seattle at an 86% clip to make the playoffs. Houston is down to 80. Over their last 55 games, the Astros are 23-32. Only the Twins and Rays have a worse record in the AL. Part of that has been the performance on offense, which has not been good. Since the trade deadline, they've played 36 games. They have scored 3 or fewer runs in half of those. And then next week is the big week. 3 with Texas, 3 with Seattle. And for an organization that is used to trying to set its playoff rotation at this point, most years, they're going to be hanging on for dear life. And maybe it's just too much to overcome with all these injuries. I mean, Hader still hasn't started a throwing program. We're less than 3 weeks to go, folks. He's not coming back right now. And that's the way you have to look at it.
The Fangraph playoff odds are so interesting to me, right? Mariners 86.2 to make the playoffs, Astros 79.4, the Rangers 22% to make the playoffs. We talked about the Mets earlier, and
Mhm.
they're going to blow it. 87.8% chance for them.
Oh, boy. What's your gut tell you? Out of those three teams, how many make it?
The Mariners have to make it. In
They
my gut,
don't.
the Mariners make it.
Okay.
Other than that, I
The
think
next,
the Astros hold on and the Mariners make it. I think the Rangers might be on the outside looking in. And maybe I'm just swayed by the numbers I just saw.
so
Because I don't think there's a right answer right now.
who's winning the well, right, you're not going to get a right answer today because we 2.5 weeks to play. What who wins the division?
Mariners.
I said it a few weeks ago, and then they went on that road trip where they looked like dog shit, and then they busted out the whipping sticks the last 2 games in Atlanta. That seems to have righted them. It's going to be fun, man. We're going to be talking about this, in 2 weeks and maybe saying something totally different. That is the best part of this. I love that part. Big fan. Big fan. All right, today's episode sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip. Why not make the most of it? With over 4,000 hotels worldwide, Best Western is there for every detour, destination, unexpected twist and turn along the way. So whether you're hitting the road, traveling for work, or chasing the next big game, there's a room waiting for you. But a great stay isn't just about rest. It's about what comes next. A great stay doesn't just help you recharge. It sets the tone for the early wake up, the late night arrival, the last minute change of plans. Why? Because Best Western gets it. Traveling isn't one size fits all. It's for the planners and the procrastinators, the loyalty point collectors, and the I just booked it crowd. You've seen our guys from We Got Ice. They've been traveling all around this great country, throwing out first pitches. Jack Doyle's doing his thing. And yeah, they've been getting plenty of help from Best Western along the way. So whether you're traveling in a group, trying to shoot your latest content creator video, or you're flying along solo, or you're with your friends or your entire roster, Best Western has got you covered. So pack your bags, cue up the playlist, hit the road. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. All right. Got a little more injury news for a couple of playoff contenders. We just told you about Luis Garcia. We wish him well. Bo Bichette of the Jays goes on the injured list with a sprained knee. They're not sure how long he's going to be out. Bichette has been one of baseball's best hitters in the second half. How worried are you he won't be able to regain that mojo in time for October?
I think he'll be fine. We don't. I guess they haven't put a timetable on it, but it seems like it's going to be, just kind of possibly a minimal stay. I don't think they put him on the IL yet, but if they do minimal stay, have some time to get ready, they're probably going to have a bye. So he'll have some time there as well. I'm not worried about any of these guys that have gotten injured. I think that's happened at, not saying the right time, but they're going to have enough time to kind of get back. And each of these teams, Trey Turner with the Phillies, Kyle Tucker with the Cubs, and the Blue Jays are all like in the playoffs. So it's just like, let's get back, try to have some time to get our timing before the playoffs.
Right.
So, overall, as long as the MRI revealed a sprain, nothing more than that, he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm not significantly worried. Yeah, it'd be great if he could get a couple of series under his belt before the postseason starts. If not, he's going to be seeing a lot of live VPs, is my guess. To me, the bigger issue is what it means for free agency, because it's another below the equator injury, as I like to say. He's had knee, quad, calf issues all since 2023. Talent evaluators, I don't know how much they pay attention to that sort of stuff when they're, dishing out 9-figure contracts.
Have there been anything significant or just soft tissue stuff?
Well, no, I mean, he missed a couple of months. Was it 2 years ago or last year? It was one of the two where he's missed some significant time. It wasn't like a 15-day stint.
I think his overall medical will come back clean. I don't think it'll be a factor.
He has been great. Third in the AL in hitting, 10th, top 10 in ribs, leads Major League Baseball with 44 doubles. Remember earlier this year, we were waiting for him to hit his first home run? We're like, God, what happened to Bo Bichette?
He's hitting 369 with runners in scoring position since 2023. Best in all of baseball.
Yeah, that guy can mash. He's a big part of them. Kyle Tucker also lands on the injured list with a bad calf. Is it possible that this brief time away kind of lets him mentally reset for what has been somewhat of an exhausting second half?
Hasn't he been pretty good as of late, though?
Yes. Now,
Turned it around.
over the last 2 weeks, he has 5 multi-hit games in his last 10. So
Yeah,
actually,
11 game stretch. I got 400, 4 homers, 4 doubles, 10 runs driven in. Like he's kind of like found the stroke again. Again, I think this is just something. Hey, take your time, get back. The Cubs are probably going to have, or they're going to be hosting a wild card series. So yeah, you'd like him to get back and get a few games in before that. Get his timing back.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, they put him retroactively to September 6th or whatever it was. I mean, he actually had made some progress, they said, on Monday, and then Tuesday they were like, "Nah, well, let's not play a man down for a while." So, this doesn't sound like much. I mean, he'll be back very, very soon, and we'll see what it looks like. Last thing, not much went right for the Yankees last night, but I will give them a lot of credit for the way the game started. Last night, the Fairfield, Connecticut team that finished third in the Little League World Series, they got to hang out with the players in their spots on the field before the game started to look at the kids' faces. How about the kid that plays right field? Nobody wanted to play right field in Little League when they're like, "I don't want to play right field." Well, the right fielder is balling because he gets to talk with Aaron Judge. And I loved watching the way the major leaguers interacted with him because they probably remembered, holy shit, what would it be like to be 12 years old and hang out on Yankee, stadium field? It's pretty awesome.
Is that shortstop taller than Volpe?
I was just saying there were probably a lot of Yankee fans
Sheesh.
who were like, let's try that guy out instead.
It never gets old running onto a Major League Baseball field as many times as you get to do it, or at least in my experience. I don't know how many games I played. It was a lot. It never ever gets old. Every time you run out there, you're like, holy crap, this is awesome. So for these kids to go out, not only at any old stadium, but this is Yankee Stadium, I think it's pretty special.
Hell yeah. And I wish that because every major league team has a little league team in their region, even if it's 120 miles away from where you play ball, that they could do this with. I would like to see that more often. I know teams have done it in the past. It's amazing when you see it. I think it's a great way to continue to build a beautiful relationship between the grassroots effort and kind of the final stage of your baseball career, which is making it to the show. Do you have any idea how many major league games you played in? Don't look it up.
Parts of 9 years, played probably 4 full years. I would say I'm somewhere in the 800s, 900s.
Okay, well, give me a number. Let's go. This is Price is Right.
880.
830.
Okay.
How many at bats do you think you had?
Ooh, I had 700 hits and I hit 240. So let's do the math there. About 25% of the time. So let's go 2,900 at bats.
Wow, 29-33. You're good. You're close to winning both showcases. 710 hits. You sold yourself a little low. 242 average, a 714 OPS.
I was a glue guy.
It's great. Are you kidding me? I'm proud to call you a friend. Hell yes.
Me too, Chris. We're friends.
Yes, you made it.
I can't wait to take Dan Rourke up top. BB7 coming up, baby.
Oh, boy. The shit talking has already started.
Dan talks SHIT all the time.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes.
Get in the box, Dan. Get in the box.
Get in the box. All right. We are back at it again tomorrow. We cannot wait for our one-of-a-kind shit-talking producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer. That is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, who logged 830 Major League games. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Thursday on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.